All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You. Expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No accuracy is related to love. Go ahead, Doc.
Welcome back to Upscale Love, you all. This is Dr. Fabulous, all the way from the city country of Hinesville, Georgia. And tonight we got a topic for you. And, sometimes, I was sitting here in a daze just thinking, didn't realize that we had actually started. But guess what, y'all? I'm always on time, regardless, even if I'm late. That's what I tell my principal every day. I'm here, so that means I'm on time. But nevertheless, I am Dr. Fabulous, the CEO of Upscale Love for You. And guess what? No further ado, I'm going to send it over. Welcome back to Upscale Lady P. This is Dr. Fabulous, all the way from the city.
Welcome, everyone. I think we're having a little technical difficulties, but we will work through it. I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. I'm so excited about the topic. Are you ready? This is a very fun topic for me, so I cannot wait to just dig in. So come on, Nasty Jackson. What do you have to say? Are you there, Nasty Jackson?
I don't think Nasty Jackson is on yet. Can you hear us, Nasty Jackson? Okay, well, I'm going to send it on over to the one and only Dr. Feel So Good. Are you available, Dr. Feel Good?
You know I am. I'm the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce, bringing it live to you from the 571, where we're having fun and I'm getting things done. You know my rap is smooth as toilet paper and it tastes just better. I can make it rain and bring the pain, but I'm always about being laid back in the cut because I get that butt. And hey, I say what? Now, today's topic is going to be celibacy. I celebrate all the time the Saints win a football game. So now back to you, Dr. Fab.
Okay, you all, that Dr. Feel Good. I guess that's why he got that name. He has the twang to make you feel, oh, so good. But nevertheless, everyone, don't let this be your first or your last time coming for a great conversation on Upscale Love for You. Just a little bit about Upscale Love for You. If you've never been here before, Upscale Love for You is formulated to entertain, educate, and facilitate self-help, self-love, and everything you want to know and wish to know about love and relationships. And when we classify relationships, we're talking about dating. We're talking about if you've gone through a divorce. We're talking about if you're getting ready to walk down the aisle and become as one, because yes, marriage is a beautiful thing when it goes right. Also, for all of us who are widowers, like myself, so just to let you know, we talk about everything. Upscale Love for You uncovers all these hot topics, and some of them can be very sensitive issues. But let me tell you, get ready, because we cover them all. And no, your opinion is just as important as our opinion. But guess what? Like I said, it's your opinion. So don't let this be your last time. Come back and enjoy, and we're going to sit back for the ride. So tonight, our conversation is, can you date and also be abstinent or practice celibacy? We want to know from you, can you really do this? So, without further ado, I'm going to start it off. And I was trying to figure it out today. I said, well, dog, what is the difference between celibacy and abstinence? And so I did. I looked it up. Old Google will tell you anything you want to know. But check this out. It says that abstinence is usually referred to as the decision not to have penetrative sex. I said penetrative sex. So what kind of sex is not penetrative unless they're just talking about oral stimulation? And I understand some people say, that's not considered sex, but I still thought that was sex. But it tells me that abstinence is the decision to not to have penetrative sex, and it's typically limited to a specific period of time, such as until you get married, everyone, and jump the broom. So that's what that's trying to tell me about abstinence. But it tells me that celibacy is a vow to remain abstinent, okay, over an extended period of time, for a long time, for many reasons, one to include religious reasons as well. So check this out. Most of the people, I'm going to say like the monks, I say they have to truly be walking, how to say, walking in faith with God to say that they are going to be celibate their entire life. And I was just like, wow, that has to be really different for an individual. So I put that out there for you. So I want to know, do you all think that when you're in a relationship that you can really be abstinent or practice celibacy? Can you tell me? Anybody like to share their thoughts and opinions about that? And welcome back, Heather. Welcome back, Crystal. I'm glad to see everyone in the house. Heather haven't been here for a good little minute, so I'm excited to see Heather. Heather, I don't know what happened to old Danny boy, but if you got his number, give him a ring, text him and tell him that we getting ready to get it crack-a-lacking. And I'm sure he would have plenty of insight on this conversation tonight. So, Lady T, what are your thoughts about that? Do you really think you could be in a relationship and be abstinent or practice celibacy?
Well, I was in a relationship and we did not have sex for, oh my God, like almost a year. And when I finally decided to give myself to him, I was not pleased. So my beliefs on that, and I'm not trying to stereotype anyone, but I think like probably like a 90-day rule would suffice. 90 days to 6 months, save yourself, get to know that person mentally. And then if you feel the need, of course, you're going to have, steamy situations. But if you feel the need, I say go for it because you do not want to marry and they cannot produce.
Okay. Well, so I heard you say something. We're going to go back. Are we saying to follow or think about Steve Harvey's 90-day rule? Because he says that in 90 days, you can see that real person and the representative will be then stepped out of the picture by then. So I'm trying to figure it out. Everybody's a little quiet tonight. Welcome, Mr. Beard. Are you okay tonight?
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing okay.
You doing okay? I know you didn't say yes, ma'am to me because whoo, I did have a birthday, y'all. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I'm almost through the threshold, y'all. I'm almost there. But nevertheless, my birthday was Tuesday gone. And so I'm gonna celebrate this weekend. But anywho, Mr. Beard, I'm talking to you. Check this out. You've been in a relationship with someone, they have children already. And I listened to the commentator, I forget his name, but he was saying this young lady had 2 children. Why is she trying to go back in retrospect and now practice celibacy? What are your thoughts on that? Or do you think when you're in a relationship that you can actually be celibate or practice abstinence when you're in a relationship with someone, Mr. Beard?
Um, to be honest with you, yes, ma'am, I think you can.
You
I don't,
can?
yeah, I don't think it's nothing wrong. I think everybody has that decision and that choice to be as celibate as they want. I agree with it. I mean, I'm all for it, but you got to remember, I mean, to be honest with you, and I hate this, it sounds messed up, but you took that oath and I'm going to respect it, but I didn't. So you gotta, it comes with the territory, you know. I understand.
Oh,
I'm
Mr.
not gonna
Beard,
push
Mr.
you.
Beard.
I'm not gonna
Now,
push you, but you ain't finna put me on timeout because of, you know, what you got going on. And that's okay. But I like to practice having sex and I'm gonna continue to, and you know, we're gonna have to have that talk.
oh, Mr. Beard, you almost made me go, "Oh," but you know what? Check this out now. Now, Mr. Beard, you trying to tell me if I was your girl, let me make it plain to you. I was your girl and I'm practicing abstinence or trying to be celibate because that's what I'm practicing. You're telling me you're going to step out on our relationship, what we have, because you can't wait or you're not willing to wait. I ain't understanding that. If you care for me and you want to be with me, don't you want to do this with me? And then it'll be all so wonderful when we go to if we make it to the altar. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm
Okay,
trying
so
to reel you
don't,
in, Mr.
oh,
Beard.
okay,
You mean to
well,
tell me,
you can
because my heart will be broken. I'm giving you all of me with the exception of being sexual, because you know, as I said, you was a little late, but I gave the definition between abstinence and celibacy. Now with abstinence, they say you can be sexual, you just can't penetrate. So it's other things that can get you going and you can still be in the category of practicing abstinence, but celibacy, on the other hand, you're not supposed to do anything at all because of religion. So once again, Mr. Beard, we're all so into one another. I'm painting this picture because I want these other ladies to hear this. I'm so into you. You supposed to be so into me, but you tell me. Now listen, last week conversation was, would you tell a lie to keep from hurting the other person? So would you lie to the partner and tell them that you're practicing, but in actuality, you're still getting you a little side piece? Is that what you're going to do?
no, I'm not gonna lie. If we're that in deep and we're that in, you know, into a relationship and that into one another, then we should have had that conversation a long time ago, I feel like. And if that's a point in my life in which I'm at and I'm ready to take that journey or already on that journey, then yeah, I mean, it's gonna, like mine's gonna wonder. But if you wait till we 2, 3, 4 months in and you decide you want to spring that on me to tell me no, 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 you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. Again,
Oh,
I
you're gonna be a
have,
little upset.
I ain't gonna lie,
You're gonna
yeah,
be a little
yeah,
bit upset
yeah,
or a
because you
lot
should have
of
told
bit
me that on
upset.
day one. Because you know, sometimes you got to get your mind right for stuff like that. I mean,
You say
And
you got to get your
see, that's the
mind right.
point.
My
Wait,
first
and
attraction
that
to
goes
you
back to
is
my 21 questions on the first date. You need to get
yeah,
all that out. So you're not
hey,
wasting my time.
that's definitely should have been one of them questions on the first date. Because I
Okay,
mean, from the
so
first time I meet you, I don't know nothing about you, so I'm looking at you from head to toe. So until I get to know that inner soul, I'm looking at your outer physical, and your outer physical is what got me in that restaurant in the first place. So to
ooh,
tell me that, I understand. Some people like to take their time. You might not give it up on the first date. You might not give it up on the first couple, and it ain't no pressure in that. But to tell me that, and like you said, you got 2 kids, and then we cooling in, and it's I'm celibate, so it ain't gonna never happen. That might be a
no. I didn't say. I said I was telling you about the guy. You said he did interview with a young lady, and she had 2 kids, and now she's going back to celibacy. But she said it's not all about the sex, because of course I went on to check it out, and she said it's not about having sex. It's about getting to know the person first, to see where they're heading before they become sexual. Because when they become sexual, it brings a little more tension into the dynamics of the relationship. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, when you have not been sexual with a person and it don't work out, guess what? You walk away like, oh well, I'm out, I'm deuces. You know that song, I'm deuces. But when you have started out and they say you've had a little tea-to-tat or whatever with that individual, some emotions can start to grow. Now, I don't care if you don't like the person, if the person was really good to you or whatever. When you let that person go, you're going to say, "Dow, I'm letting go a little extra additive." But if you haven't been with that person, you like, "Good night, hasta la vista, hasta luego," all of that good stuff is gone. You see?
so.
So, yes, Mr. Beard.
So what happens when you celibate and you fall in love and you got all that going, and then it turns out that y'all actually do get to that point and it ain't there? It ain't hit. No sparks flying. They don't
No
know what
sparks.
they're doing. Don't know what you're doing. Y'all
That's
both
my
wishing y'all would
point,
have stayed
Mr.
in the friend
Beard.
zone. Now you done wasted time because that actually turned out to be a deal breaker for you
It
because
it
the
it
hype
turned
been
out to be a flop. It
like
turned out
yeah.
to be a flop,
I know you.
because what you're saying is, and I understand that. God knows I understand that. You go all this time and you really feeling this person, and then all of a sudden you come on, you get there at the table and you got a can of Vienna sausages, and you just like, okay, now what I'm gonna do with it. And then you have to regroup. But I'm sure you can work through it. I'm gonna say you can work through it.
And that's where the mind stimulation come in,
Wait.
because that's
I'm, I'm
also,
I'm going to say you can work through it. So I'm gonna let Lady T jump on that part. Go on, Lady T.
I don't know, Mr. Beard. I'm with you. I mean, I feel like, you need to get to know a person. Now, 6 months, 7, yeah, I think that's plenty of time. You should see their good side and their bad. But I need to try my shoe on, because I'm not purchasing nothing until I know, you can handle me. So I'm with you. I know that's
But Lady
definitely
T,
one of the
you
21
you
questions.
missing it. You missing it, Lady T. He said that you've been down this road for 6 months. You've really started to care for this person, and then you put your shoe on, and guess what? The heel break off,
And I am not working
and,
that
and,
out.
and you
I
just
can't
like
do
really
that.
upset,
I'm gonna
and
be
you done
very
wasted six
upset.
months without trying on them shoes because you were walking in the light. You were walking in the light. Okay.
Listen,
So, sometimes you got to go with trial and error. So Mr.
Dr.
B.
Fabulous, you
Mhm.
can't be in that trial period and then you getting, upset, frustrated, aggravated because you can't get a drink. I want my drink.
Oh, okay then.
Hey,
Well,
can I respond? Say something,
Yes,
Dr. Fabulous. Hi, you guys. I'm Bernice. I'm the newcomer.
welcome,
I don't
Bernice.
see you, Bernice. Where are you?
Let me turn my camera around. Hey, you guys.
Hey, Bernice.
Hey. um, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Dr. Bill, what was his name? Am I
Beard,
saying
Mr.
Dr. Bill?
Beard.
Dr.
Yeah, Mr.
Beard.
Beard, I'm sorry. And Lady T, you know what you're saying, because I feel like this. In a relationship, I feel like, yes, that's true. You're trying to get to know the person. But I feel like if you're coming off the rip, like, okay, upon you trying to know me and you coming off the rip, talking about sex, to me, that sends a red flag to me. So with that being said, I'm like, go head on. You know what I'm saying? I have no more talk for you because you letting me know off the rip that's what you want.
That's what they
Now,
after. They trying to get some panties. I got
exactly.
you.
Exactly. So later on down, I'm sorry, so what now?
I said right. You are absolutely correct.
Oh, okay. So later on, you know what I'm saying, down the line, like you were saying, like 3 months later or whatever, you know what I'm saying, once you're knowing that person, then yes, you know what I'm saying, you can come in, you can ask questions as far as like sex goes. But with me personally, Dr. Fabulous, I can only speak for myself and on my behalf of my experience. Now, sex, I don't base my I'm in a relationship now. I've been with my man for a year. I don't base my relationship on sex.
Right.
Mind you, I have no issue. We have no issue in the bedroom at all. But my previous relationship that I was in, the issue with him was, okay, you were saying that, some guys have like a little vagina. Okay, this guy, he had a small vagina. But at the same token, y'all, I did not look at that because, I genuinely loved him. And I did not look at, what I'm saying, how he performed sexually. I looked at how he treated me because, I look at it like this. When the sex is, if you base your relationship on sex, then what do you have? Like, who's to say if he's not able to put out anymore or if she's not able to put out anymore, then what do you have? You don't have nothing really to build on if you just pretty much basing, building your relationship off of sex. So I don't agree with that, Mr. Beard at all. I really don't. And I feel like if a man or a woman for that matter, if they choose to, to practice celibacy or abstinency, I see nothing wrong with that because 9 times out of 10, usually when people do that, they're doing that because they're waiting on who God has ordained for them to be with.
You better
just,
preach, girl. Preach now.
Yeah, you better preach.
Yeah, I'm
right
serious.
now.
Not
That's
just,
it.
like jump, with this person, that person, and that person. So I don't agree with that. Like I said, I don't base my relationship on sex. I base my relationship on, what I'm saying, love and how that person treats me. And like I said, I base it on, if like I said, if we're going out on a date, if I'm trying to get to know that person and then off the rip, you know what I'm saying, the first thing that come out of your mouth, because believe me, before I got in my relationship, I went out on dates with guys and the first thing they come out their mouths with, oh, you look like you good in bed. Go ahead on. It's like they tend to make you act like a person that you do not want to act like. So I try not to deal with people like that because I feel like you let me know that you can't hold a good conversation. If your whole conversation is about sex, then what do I need you for? I don't need you at all.
That's it. So, Mr. Beard, you got your hand up.
Man,
I'm
I'm about
coming
to
back
lose it over
around
here.
to you.
I'm about to lose it over here. I'm about to lose it. Okay, so the question.
Don't lose it, Mr. Beard. Don't lose it. Bring it on home to us.
So the question was, if that's what she was on and she turns out and pops up and says she's celibate, is that an issue? it's an issue for me because I'm not saying on first date I'm asking to rub on your booty. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to see who you are. I'm physically attracted to you. The physical attraction is definitely there. At some point in time, I'm going to act on that. Do I have to wait until you're comfortable? Yes. Obviously, I'm a man. I'm probably going to be comfortable on day one. But we don't go by my schedule.
Not the
We're
day
going to go
one,
by
Mr.
yours.
Beard.
Look here, I'm just being honest with you.
Okay, all right.
We don't sit back and say all day long that it's on, the love and all this other stuff. Then that guy that try to holler at you at the market, but he didn't look too appealing, should get his shot because he could be the man you looking for in a different shelf. And now you're going off of just physical instead of reaching into his soul. The guy that you think, because you want him to be at least 5'8" or taller, that 5'3" guy, let him shoot his shot. Because at the end of the day, his soul might be the one that more yokes with yours than every 5'8" guy out here. But it's a preference on it, and it's a preference to an extent of this is what I'm looking for, this is what I want, and this is just me. Everybody ain't gonna fit that mold. Everybody ain't gonna be celibate. Everybody ain't gonna let you rub their booty on the first date. I feel like if you wait until we are in a relationship and I'm coming on to you, and then now all of a sudden you celibate, I feel like you're playing with me. That's something you should have let me know on day one. Kind of like if I tell you, hey, how you doing? My name's Travis. I love polygamous relationships. That's all I could deal with. And you thought you was in a monogamous one. You might want to know that on day one. And that's the way I see it. So it's not about whether she wrong or not because she's being celibate, or she's wrong or not whether she being abstinent. The same way as a man, you will want me to let you know what I'm about, what I'm looking for, what I want from day one. And you want to be able to make that decision, decide if you want to invest or not. Give me that same opportunity too. Because James over here might say, yeah, I'm cool with that. Me too. High five. Let's do this journey. But Mr. Beard might be like, well, how long is, you say marriage? I don't know about that because I'm not trying to get married to somebody I just met next month, next year maybe. You never know. Y'all might not yoke at all. So you want me to adjust or to confirm to a decision that you made and I just met you, and this is your life decision. Okay, guess what? We just didn't match. That's all. I ain't mad at you. I ain't hating on you. I ain't waste your time. You ain't waste mine. So
Okay,
it should be easy.
I'm sorry, that's understandable, Mr. Beard, and I'm hearing everything that you're saying. But what you're not understanding, what I'm getting from you is, so you're telling me that, okay, if you go out on a date with a person, I should come out the rip and say, listen, no, you should come out the rip and just say, I want to have sex, because that's all I'm hearing from you, that you want to have sex. Like I said, no, that shouldn't be the first question on the date. If you're trying to get to know a person, get to know that person. Like I said, later on down the line, you know what I'm saying? You can tell, that person can tell you, listen, I'm practicing celibacy or abstinency, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to have any sex. Like I said, it shouldn't be no issue. That shouldn't come off the rip. Now with me, like I said, when I went out on my dates, now what I did let a guy know, listen, I'm not looking for a relationship. But if it happens, it happens. So therefore, I'm not leading him on. So therefore, I'm letting him know, listen, if you wanting to be in a relationship with me off the rip, I'm not looking for that right now. But if it later on down the line, if we continue to date and it happens, then I'm open for it. You know what I'm saying? But
that sounds a lot like what I just said, though. Only difference is you as a woman is putting it out there on Front Street. Hey, look, I ain't looking for nothing serious. Trying to see if we mingle, trying to see if we can hang out, trying to see if stuff happens. I'm not saying on day one, only thing I want to do is sleep with you. That's it. I ain't saying that at all. But my expectations is at some point in time to lay down with you. At some point. Now, if you telling me that my expectations should be looking forward to settling down a year, 2, 3 years down the line, maybe I'm up for it, maybe I ain't. But I'm gonna tell you, and this is just Travis's personal opinion. This isn't all men around the world.
yeah.
But if the only thing I know about you is physical is what got me in that restaurant. It wasn't your inner soul. It wasn't your beautiful mind. It wasn't the fact that I felt like we was yoked by the celestial beings out there in the earth, and now we have to be together. It wasn't any of that. We're dating because I'm trying to figure out, are we compatible on that level? I'm dating because I'm trying to figure out, could we excel or elevate ourselves to that level? But on the first date, baby, it was definitely how you looked that got me in here. It wasn't
Well,
nothing else. And anybody that think that is full of it.
Hey.
You didn't say yes to me because you saw my inner soul. I looked at handsome to you. I looked at attractive to you. You thought, okay, he may be a nice guy. Or even I heard some things about you. I looked at you because you happen to be the type that made me want to indulge into you. Now, after I indulge in you, do I stay because I want to see if you got more than that? Yeah, everybody does. But off rip, like I said before, off a rip, you can't just sit back and say, oh, well, you shouldn't be thinking about that. Thinking about that is what got me here.
well, okay, Travis. Ooh, Mr.
No,
Beer, you done gave us a whole mouthful. All right, well, I appreciate all of this here camaraderie. Now, I'm going to say thank you. Don't go nowhere, Miss Reynolds. Don't you go nowhere, because I love that. I see Heather, you got your hand up. Welcome back, Heather. Give us what you got, Heather.
I do, upscale lovers. So I enjoyed that dialogue back and forth. I guess in listening to that, I was a little bit more confused because we're talking about either the talking stages or we're talking about it's kind of like moved on into being in a full-fledged relationship, and timing for both of those periods are different, right? I think some of us can agree on that. To go back to the question, could I be celibate or abstinent while I'm while I'm dating? I think it would be a challenge, especially like when Mr. Beard said, you know, if you're attracted to somebody and you're taking this time to get to know them, yeah, it's going to be a challenge because we're human beings, depending on what your love language is and that whatever that attraction level is, you're going to eventually want to act on it, right? But for that person who's choosing to be abstinent or celibate because they want to take the time to really get to know that person, that's me. I'm that person. I'm her, right? I'm raising my hand. I was in a situationship with somebody, and he was the one that posed it that, you know what? I'm doing the 90-day rule. I thought that was odd. I never heard that from a dude ever in my life. But I guess maybe because of what I experienced in the past, I was like, okay, that sounds really cool. Like he wants to get to know me. But then later on, I wondered, was he taking a break from other situations he was in? Was he done with whatever else he was doing or whatever whoever else he was dealing with? Because at some point, you wonder, especially if someone's talking a whole bunch of stuff, right? They're talking about all the things they want to do to you, and then they kind of like pump the brakes on you, and you respect it because I'm the type of person that was always looking for more of an emotional connection. But and then you also see the person is kind of all over the place. But you know what? You're like, I'm still getting to know them. So fine. This won't allow me to cloud my judgment and getting to know them to see if I want to give, I want to open up the cookie jar. It didn't last. The 90 days, it was a month shy. And it was great. And then he was crazy after that. So I mean, did it matter either way? I don't know. But I learned from it. So I would have a challenge with it. But if it was posed to me from a man, I think that's awesome because I think women are more likely to say something like that than a man. But I appreciated what he was trying to do. So that's my contribution.
All right, Heather. So I'm gonna come on and try to pull it back. You said you met someone, Heather. You all were dating, getting to know each other. That 90-day
No,
rule.
not dating. Not because now this the way that grown people use the word dating, relationship. I've been struggling with that even up until recently. So it's like right now asking men questions about where we see this going or where we feel it's at is never a clear definition of what it is. So for me, it was more like a situationship. My hope was if we were connected that it was going to move on into a relationship, but it never really made it there.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, Heather. You're with this person, and the person tells you, okay, we're kicking it or whatever, but he doesn't want to take it to the level of any titles. He says he does not believe in titleship, meaning that you all could be together 3, 4, 5 months down the line, and Heather is still going to be Heather, And Heather will never hold the name as a girlfriend or a friend because he doesn't believe in titles. Did I lose you, Heather? Because I
No, you
showed them.
didn't. Sounds like my
Okay, I
life.
see. I see you. I see you, Heather. I see you. I got you. Had to get my old eyes right. You know, I wear glasses, Heather. So they
Ooh,
say
child.
they don't want any titles on whatever you got going on. So there you're almost sitting in a fog because you don't know, well, are we more than friends? Are we going in the direction of relationship? So it's kind of stagnated. You don't really know what it is because with me, I'm understanding titles meaning entitleship because, and
Mm.
Leanne can attest to this because Leanne said this a couple of shows ago. If it's not the real deal, Holyfield, or you're not in a real connection or a real relationship, she treats you on a different scale or a different level as to a person that says, hey, we don't have any titleship, we just kicking it. So Heather, tell me, how do you take that? Because I feel like if you're with a person and you are just kicking it, you don't have no titleship, hey, you can be abstinent, you can be celibate, you can be whatever you want to be, because you don't even know what this is going to be, right?
Right.
Am
I'm
I?
probably going to be even more celibate or abstinent because if we kicking it and there's a vibe and there's a connection and there's no movement and I'm communicating or I'm trying to ask questions, and this is real to me. This is real life, real true story for me. It even
Mhm.
got to the point where I would ask this guy questions just to get to know him more. And at one point it was like, you ask too many questions. You're nosy. And it's like, if
Oh,
I don't ask
oh,
questions, how could I be safe with wanting to let you get in the cookie jar? But nevertheless, if I conceded and gave the cookie jar, still there's no definition of what this is or what could be. I'm really supposed to just step off at that point. But then if it's 5 6 months, you feel like you've made a connection but it hasn't been returned to you. I think a lot of women experience this with the hopes that this person will turn over. You're showing them, you're giving them, so you're expecting, like, okay, obviously he sees that I'm trying to be connected with him, I'm the bomb, like what's the problem here, like let's move this along. But what I learned is that you can't push nobody to be where they don't want to be. If that's what they
okay.
wanted was the cookie jar and you gave it, all right, and you realize that, then it's time to move on. Because after a while, I'm just wasting time. And as women, a lot of us just waste time thinking that they're gonna come along and acquiesce to what it is that we want. They don't. Some of these men have a whole bunch of women on the side or they're dealing with, and they like to be in limbo and not share what they want to do with you because it's easier that way. They can get their cake and eat it too. So, I mean, at this point, I'm confused about the whole game, but
Okay. Well,
celibacy, I'm at that point now. I'm single and I'm happy to be single.
well, honey, listen here. I think Dr. Fabulous is going to have to do a workshop, but that's another conversation. Okay, Miss Millie, you sitting there looking all pretty and smiling and stuff. Give me your take. Give me your take on this as a more mature woman. Because you know what? When you meet a mature man, normally you think they're out of the stage of playing games. But you know, some of them old roosters,
Mm.
boy, they think they got the game down. They think they can play the game and all that good stuff. So, as a more seasoned woman like myself, give me what your thoughts are on this.
Me personally, I think dating is just what it said is, dating. But the only way you're going to get to know a person is through dating. But if a person choose to be celibate, that's up to them. But I'm like the Lady T said, the choice I make is to get to know them. But I wear a size 8.5 shoe. Sometimes I have to get a 7.5. Sometimes I have to get an 8. So if I would rather know what's going on before a year or two down the road. But if they choose to be celibate, I'm not going to push them to the level or encourage them to do something they choose not to do. But for me, myself and I want to know what I'm working with. I don't want to be surprised down the road, as you stated, and then it's something that I don't like, or we are not compatible, or we're not getting along. You talking 6-8 months down the road, and then bam, it was just a waste of that time. That's just passing time, as Heather stated.
Okay, so listen to this. Earlier conversation, Mr. Beard told me we're deeply in love. Oh, we have connected.
Okay.
But I've shared with him that I'm abstinent or I'm celibate, whichever take you want to say. But I'm gonna stop saying abstinent, because abstinence say you can get down with the get down as long as you don't penetrate. Y'all got that right? Because I was like, what? So anyway, Mr. Beard told me that because I was in that state of mind and he hadn't got his mind in that state of mind yet, he was going to step out and get him a little tater too. What do you all think about that? Do you think that's okay for Mr. Beard to do that? Or should he just wait on the one and only Dr. Fabulous to just pull him on in? Ladies, gentlemen.
I think if you're personally, if you have fallen in love, you and that person have fallen in love with each other, and then they decide to tell you that they're celibate. I think if you love that person enough, you will be willing to wait until the time comes for marriage and you get on that level, however you choose to be. I think you're in now, you're hooked. You're hooked by then. And if you're in love, you're going to do what you need to do to make it work. That's what I would do. If I'm in love and then I found out, oh my gosh, I'm in this now. Where am I going? So I would try to continue making it work and stay in it. Personally, if I'm in love with that person. Hey, Mr. Anson.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
We doing. All right. So, Mr. Beard, you hear that? I know you hear that, Mr. Beard. You done snuck off somewhere. But anyway, Leanne, you got your hand up. Welcome tonight, Leanne. Welcome, everyone. If I didn't get a chance to tell you all welcome, or if you missed my wonderful intro, and welcome, everyone. Welcome. But Leanne, go ahead.
Yes, I have this question for Sister Millie. Sister Millie, you gonna wait till you get married before you test the waters?
I just told you I try on every pair of shoes I wear. I can't order shoes online because I have to know if I can wear them or not.
But I heard you said you weren't giving anything up until you got married.
No.
I misheard. Okay. All right. That's why I asked the question.
If it's red button
I can't even order shoes online because my feet.
I'm sitting laughing because I said she gonna wait till she get married.
Now, it's to each their own who wants to wait. I don't knock anyone.
Right. Okay.
But for me and myself and I'm gonna try my shoes if I choose when I get ready to.
I got you.
Just in case you got to wear them with socks or you got to put them on with stockings. I got you, girl. I got you. I hear what you're saying, Miss.
You don't buy a car and don't test drive it.
But see, Dr. Fabulous, you know what? I'm serious. I just don't agree with that. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking nobody, and it's easy. And I mean, it may sound crazy for me to be saying that because I have 3 kids. If I can go turn back the hands of time, I wish I would have waited until I got married. The reason why I say this is because, people, okay, just like you said, Miss Millie, you want to test your shoes, try your shoes on first, and then I think Anson said you can't drive. I mean, you want to test drive the car.
Papa Doc was the one talking about test driving, and he got a pin up.
I'm sorry, Papa Doc. Yeah, about test driving the car first or whatever. But I feel like this, things get misconstrued and messed up. Okay, when you're sleeping with that person, what I'm saying, a whole lot of soul ties and stuff, what I'm saying, you get to wondering why you acting the way that you're acting because that person, what I'm saying, Billy Bob done been with Susie Mae done been with Jim done been with, what I'm saying, Lisa, what I'm saying, and their spirits is being, what I'm saying, connected back, is being poured into your spirit, so I feel like I said, if I could turn back the hands of time, I would have waited until I got married. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't regret my kids. I love my kids or whatever, but I would have waited.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Anthony,
wait.
I'm
Now,
so sorry.
listen,
No
listen.
disrespect. Is Rhonda? Is Rhonda?
Bernice.
Bernice. Okay. Now my
Uh-huh.
thing is, you've been dating this guy a year because I listen and I pay attention. You
Yeah.
said you've been dating this guy a year, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Y'all married?
No, we're not.
Have you tried the shoes on?
Yes, I have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
So
have.
there's no difference than anyone. Some people may wait a month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, whichever the case may be, but you still tried those shoes on.
I did.
So you are contradicting, if I'm not mistaken, what you're saying.
No, I'm saying, like I said, it may
She said she
sound
wish
crazy.
she had waited.
With the 3 kids, she's not talking about this year relationship. I'm listening.
You're right. Well, let me rephrase that, Miss Millie. You're right. Let me rephrase that. Let me go back. I should have waited all together. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of like with my 3 kids and with the relationship that I'm in now, I should have waited. Like I said, do I base my relationship on sex? No, I don't, because like I said, me and my man, we do not have no issues in, the bedroom. But I wish I would have waited until marriage. Yes, I wish I would have waited. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna get to your answer and give me 1 second. What I was getting ready to say to Miss Millie and to Miss Reynolds, most of the time when women test drive a car or put on those shoes, they think them shoes is theirs and they think that car is theirs.
True.
But sometimes that car is just rented and
That's right.
sometimes them shoes is just used.
That's
so
right.
Women bring a lot of emotions into being trying on shoes and purchasing cars.
Being intimate.
Because they can't decipher, okay, now I done test drove this car and it's riding like I like it to ride. But then the car get what? Repossessed.
But it's a little different, as you said, once you get seasoned, you know the difference in kicking it, hanging out, and having a full
because
relationship.
You're gonna ask what's
chilling and just sexing.
Exactly. You know, up close and personal, if we just kicking it and we hanging out. Or is this a relationship? You know, after so long of getting your feelings in it and thinking you got a real relationship, once the emotions get involved, you know then until he claim you, you're not claimed.
And when they don't
I
get
agree,
titles,
Miss Millie.
when you don't have titles,
they will give you the title when they want you to have it.
But wait a minute, Evolve. We waiting for men to give us a title? Like how
they will do it. They will do it.
Wait. I'm trying to understand. For my seasoned women, we're waiting for men to give us a title to let us know we're the chosen one.
No, sweetie,
if they don't tell you you're their woman, their old lady, their wifey, however they put it to you, if they don't directly bring it to you like that, don't assume it.
But you know what? We also know that they have different definitions for wifey, for chosen one, for all of those different things. And I really want the men to chime in on all of this stuff too, because it becomes a paradox at some point when you're trying to understand, like, okay, we're sharing each other with each other. All right, this is not a game no more, because now eventually emotions are gonna get involved. You know, like where would we like to go with it? I mean, it has to be a mutual conversation and it got to be an honest one at some point. Like, even if, like you said, Miss Millie, even if it's just like, oh, we just chilling, we just kicking it, and we're just having sex and we chilling. That's our understanding. But at some point, I think both parties, men and women, will leave it open because either is afraid to want to define it, because if I ask for a definition, that's going to push him away. He's going to fly away. And I want to show him and teach him that this is something that he needs to be with me, or vice versa. It gets to the point where if you can't be honest about what you're looking for at this point in your life and how you interact with that person, then we just wasting time.
Okay.
Well, that's Heather, you said a mouthful. I'm gonna
And
jump over here.
we're wasting our soul ties, because at some point, if you keep giving yourself to a number of men, it's no shade to anybody that chooses to use their body the way that they want to. As we're getting older, I'm afraid of what's out here. So I can't even sit here and be like, yo, I want to chill and I want to kick it, and I understand what this is. It's just sex. Because at some point, my emotions are going to get involved. I am going to want to claim this person. Or now I got to worry if you out here messing with a whole bunch of chicks, because you
Mhm.
may not even be honest about it. And I don't want you bringing me nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I agree with you.
There's a lot going on. And I notice even older people are still playing the games. So I'm
Hmm.
like, what do I have to look forward to at 44 if I'm dealing with men that think they P. Diddy running the city? Like, what are we doing here?
Not P. Diddy running the city.
Yeah,
Dr.
there's a lot
Feelgood,
of
did
P.
you
Diddy's
hear
out here
that?
running the city, and they don't want to be honest with themselves. Whether it's you haven't healed from situations, you got a whole bunch of women running after you, you don't know what to do, but you want to just have fun. That's great. Stay away from me.
Exactly.
See what answer
Okay.
got to
And you
say.
know what? That's when you're having a true conversation with someone, because I do believe that you can be with someone and be strictly platonic. I do believe that can take place. However, when you spend so much time with someone, guess what? That person starts to grow on you. Come on, Anson. You know your cousin can talk. I'm ready for you, Anson. Go ahead.
All right. So when I first saw this topic, my first thought that came to mind was that I'm grown. I'm not a child. I'm not sending out no letter saying, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" Circle, yes or no. So I'm not waiting for any damn thing when it comes down to sex, because we grown. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to fuck me, I want to fuck you. Let's fuck.
Ooh,
So
okay, you want to make love. You want to gear it up. We're gonna keep the conversation
however,
classy.
however you want to phrase it, I'm with
Mm-hmm.
it if you with it. If I'm with
Oh,
it and you with it, then let's do it. All this whole
Said what he said.
right. I said what I said. If we with it and I'm with it, let's do it. So
no, but you missing it, because you may be with it, but your person that you're dealing with has said, hey, no, I'm gonna pull back just a little. I want to taste the sea of you getting to know me. So I'm celibate. So are you willing to wait to be with her because she's on this journey of celibacy for the time being? And it could
again,
be a phase that she's going through with religiously. That's why she's being celibate. Or she could be abstinent, but it says with abstinence that you all can get it in. You just can't penetrate her. So my question to you, Anson, is if you ready to get down with it, but she's not willing to get down with it because she's trying to get to the core of Anson, and she doesn't want to include all this emotional ties with you, with that situation, with having sex, she's going to be abstinent or celibate. Are you going to wait for her?
again, I'm grown. I ain't waiting for nobody.
Oh,
If
okay. So you
if,
answered
if
it.
she want to hold out on me, then I guess I'm gonna not be with her. Like, I don't know someone. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm with someone if I can't have sex with them. You know what I mean? I'm
So
not
you
finna
only
say
get to know them if you having sex with them.
it's part of it, just like any other relationship.
Okay, wait,
You don't have sex with every
But you got to
relationship.
get to know them first.
what Ann said. So my question to you is, what does sex mean to you in the relationship?
It's who else you gonna have sex with? You know what I mean? Like,
Myself,
no,
You
no,
better say that.
no.
Who said that?
me, Lady T. I can
You
have it
better
with
say that,
myself
Lady T. You
in
better say
all
that,
shapes
Lady
and
T.
forms. But my
It-
question to you is, you said you were grown, and you
mhm.
said that, you can have sex. You don't want to be with them if you can. So what does sex mean to you?
Sex is a huge part of the relationship. I don't know exactly how to answer that, but I would say that if you're not having sex with someone, then you're not with them. That's how I feel about it.
So you're saying that the sexual activity is what intertwines you all as a unit to be as one, but you don't want titles.
Wait a
As
minute.
this
So is
relationship.
he sexing for the feel good, or is he sexing from the emotional part of it? Because he didn't answer what is sex to him.
What I'm saying, because I don't know how to answer it. All I
Is
know is
it emotional tied to you, or you just, as you say, excuse me, fucking?
It sounds like to me, Anson just saying that sex is just fucking. But Anson, sometimes you can be in a hurry, you know what I'm saying, and you can miss out on that special somebody. So sometimes it's not always good to be in a rush to have sex.
my view on it is this. However you feel about sex is how you feel about it. If it's something that you only want to do with someone you marrying, then go ahead, you do that. Hold out till you marry. If you want to have sex with someone only if you are dating, then fine, you hold out with it. But fact of the matter is, like we said from the very beginning, like we've been saying for over a year, your choice. It's your choice. If you want to hold out for whatever reason, you hold out. But if you want to have sex with someone, you have sex with them. That's what it
So
all boils down to whenever it comes down to relationships in general. It's always your choice. So regardless of who you dealing with, it's still your choice. Unless someone trying to commit the R word, then that's what it boils down to. Choices. It's your choice,
Innocent,
your
let
decision.
me ask you this.
Okay. Heather
Okay,
got her hand
so
up,
do
Lady
you
T.
need it?
Let Heather jump in right quick. I guess
Wait,
she's gonna
let
say
me ask
something.
the question. Hold on. So let me ask you this. So do you think you need sex to relieve stress, or do you need it for that feeling that you get with the penetration? Because obviously it means 75%, of your relationship. So which
Yeah.
one is?
For me, I enjoy sex a lot. So I want to know that I can enjoy sex with who I'm with if I'm gonna be with them. So
So that's
I'm
what you
not
base
trying to
your
have sex with
relationship
just
off
anybody.
of. If you have the enjoyment of sex with
Exactly.
that
No,
person.
that's not what I base my relationship. That's not what I base my relationship off of. But I want to know that if I'm with someone, I can enjoy having sex with them. It's not gonna be a task or a hassle or a job. I want to enjoy it.
Okay,
Okay.
Heather, what are your thoughts?
Lady T, that was a really good question. I respect your response, Anson. I may not agree with it, but that doesn't even matter because he's saying what a whole bunch of men don't say. And I appreciate that more than it not being said. You know what I mean? And I don't know what relationship means to you, Anson, and I don't need to know. But I know in the way that you think and the way that you relate to the women that you're with, obviously sex is definitely a big thing. And it should be at some point. But at some point, with some of the other men that are out here, if that's what it is, then just say that. Off the rip. I keep hearing the rip all conversation off rip. Just be honest, because you never know what's going to come out of any partner's mouth about celibacy or not wanting to give it up. Just be honest. Like, I'm a sexual being, and I rate this highly. This is me. Is this something that you can get with? And if a man could communicate honestly like that, I'd respect him like to the highest power. Like, to me, that is honest. I love it.
All right, Heather.
All right,
Ooh,
now,
I can't believe it.
okay, 1 point for Anson.
All right. So Millie, you got your hand up.
I got a question for Dr. Feelgood. Can you look up the percentage of if they have a percentage out there for how important sex is in a relationship for us?
You heard of Dr.
Yes, I'll
Feelgood?
do that. Give me a second. I'll bring it up.
Thank you.
Okay. Papa Doc. How you
Yeah,
doing
we
this
right
evening,
on
Papa
time.
Doc?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing? How's everybody?
Doing well.
Doing well, doing well.
Absolutely fabulous. So Papa Doc, We're gonna roll
Yes.
on down to Papa Doc. Papa Doc,
Yeah.
what is your stance on this? If you were dating a young lady and you all had been dating for about 2-3 months and you all still hadn't become intimate, and then you get on the conversation about, are we going to take it to the next level, and she tells you, oh, I'm abstinent or I'm celibate, whatever choice of words she chooses. What is your take on that? How would you maneuver from this point on in this relationship or
So,
friendship or whatever ship it is?
okay. So after a few months, and we've been doing this together thing, whatever the title is or whatever. At this particular age in my life, uh, I can't hold myself for you to make up your mind on what you want to do. Like, I don't have tomorrow. I got more days behind me. Do I do it in front of me? And I want to use it while I still got it. I don't want to lose it,
While it's still
so
working?
while it's still working, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Prescription and all, whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to waste my days of wondering, okay, she wants me to be faithful to her. She wants me to wait for her. Okay, fine. I did your 90-day rule. All right, whatever. After that, if you ain't got your mind made up, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't going to be faithful. I might wait for you, but I ain't going to be faithful.
Bad Papa Doc. Bad Papa Doc. So,
Well, listen, at this age, I'm going to tell you this. It ain't a whole lot I need from a woman. I can feed myself. I can cook. I can wash myself. I can dress myself. It's a couple of things I don't want to do to myself that I would like a lady to do with me.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's where I'm at. Like, it's like, the women say, I don't need a man, but I want a man. I don't need a woman, but I want a woman.
okay. That was good food for thought, Papa Doc. Is there any other person on here that would like to share? Because I'm getting ready to turn it over to Dr. Feel Good to make you feel oh so good, because he come deep. He bring it all the way to the core for us. Is there anyone? Welcome, Brenda. Welcome all of our newcomers. If I didn't get a chance to tell you all, welcome. You all are definitely welcome to come back again, because you know what I say, every week we got something sizzling, then we get a little deep and profound, but it's always a great conversation. And in absence, we have one of our members absent, Special K. She's out this evening, and I believe Nasty J, his service must have fell off. So we're going to end their absence. So that means you all got to do a return call so that you all can check them out, because they bring a lot to the team as well. So, Dr. Feel Good, are you ready to make them feel good?
Make it work and make it do what it do.
Make it do what it do.
Ladies and gents, it's Dr. Feel Good back again. The man with the golden voice, lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce, coming live to you from the 571 where I get things done. Hey, what is the difference between intimacy and full-fledged intercourse?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked this question. Because
Go ahead, Heather.
said a couple of times by Fabulous, and intimacy for me, or from what I remember the definition, is that connection with a person that doesn't have to be sexual, but it can lead to sex. And then sex is pretty much the physical act of penetration or sexual relations. That's all I got.
All right, I'm putting the definition for intimacy in the box.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
I don't want to send nobody a direct message.
Well, you know what? While we waiting for him to put it in the box, I want to hear from a man. I want a man to tell me what the difference is between, because Heather put it out there real strong to represent the females here. I want to know from a male. Oh man, we got Papa Docs, we got Anson, we got Ryan. Anybody want to share? Any man? Oh, what is it? No one? Oh
I'll
my
go.
God.
I
Go
was waiting.
ahead. Go ahead, Anson.
I mean, I, I would say it's a difference between how into it you are. You know what I mean? Because some people just have sex, So I would say that would just be intercourse. But if it is something that, if it's like you looking for somebody with a flashlight in the daytime, I would say that was intimacy. You know what I mean? Like it's been encounters that I've had that have been exquisite. You know what I mean? So I would say that those were intimate encounters. You know what I mean? So it all depends on the severity of the interaction. That would be my definition of intimacy. Okay,
Okay.
everybody's muted.
Anyone else? What about you, Beard? Jerome, are you there?
Can I put my hand up? I don't know how to do that.
Come on, Papa Dog, bring it on home.
So, intercourse is just what it is. That's intercourse. Intimacy is what I think builds up to become, to get to the intercourse. Like, you ladies have a way of, he's doing all of this, and not necessarily with any physical touching, but it could be, we working in the kitchen together, you know, um, she's washing the dishes, I'm drying, vice versa. And all that's building up to, like, yeah, later on, we're going to have some intercourse. Because, like for men, like, hey, we can pull y'all by the head, snatch y'all on the ground, we ready to go. But for women, y'all gotta be led to that point. Y'all gotta be built up to that point. So I believe that's what the difference between intimacy and intercourse is.
Okay, Miss Marilyn, you have your hand up. Where you from, first of all?
I'm from Miami, Florida. I'm
Okay.
living in DC right now, though.
Okay.
Hello,
Hear me.
Baltimore. Yeah, I'm from Baltimore, up next door.
All right, you got your hand up. Do you want to answer the question?
I do. So to me, I feel like intimacy, it isn't just like a buildup for sex. I feel like intimacy is just like a way of just being connected with someone. And it can be in several different ways. It could be physical, emotional, intellectual. It could even be spiritual for me, because there's different things like, let's say my partner, his love language is physical touch. So I'll rub his back. That's a way of being intimate with him, to bring that closeness together, and it's not just a build up for sex. Let's say my partner is spiritual and we meditate. That's our way of connecting with each other. That's a form of intimacy. Let's say my partner is a reader and he likes words. I'm gonna throw words out there or do things like, you know, in things of endearment, just to become closer with him, if that makes sense.
Yes, the actual definition of intimacy is close familiarity or friendship or closeness. The intimacy between a husband and wife doesn't, and it intimates that it doesn't have to be sexual. However, it is also a private and cozy atmosphere. So you can be intimate with more than one person at a time, but and like I said, it's not necessarily sex. It could be just closeness and sharing. The euphemistically is dealing directly with sex. It says sexual relations, sexual intercourse, sex, intercourse, and lovemaking. The thing about it is intimacy, like someone said earlier, I think it was Heather, intimacy can lead to intercourse, but not all intercourse is intimate. So if you look at it like that, it goes back to relationships. How do you relate? Because if someone, intimacy can be verbal, like Miss Marilyn said about throwing words around. Intimacy can be physical, and it doesn't have to be touch per se, but touch does have something to do with it. Intimacy can be smells. You're dancing with somebody. You slow dragging with them. You smell their hair. You smell their aura. You're smelling the atmosphere. You're in your own world while you're dancing with that person. That's intimacy. It doesn't necessarily have to do with intercourse. So a lot of times we intertwine the word, as you can see when I said in the definition, but we have a problem with intimacy, with true intimacy, because we're living in a day where we got to have everything now. There's no such thing as patience. 90-day rule. F them, forget them, and flee. Go ahead, Lady T.
So my question is, Dr. Feelgood, how do you get a person to get on that level with you of being intimate? Like how can you groom them when they're not used to that? How can you get them to that level?
You can't, in reality, Lady T, is you have to build your relationship. This is the problem. Like I said, we want stuff now. A lot of us have a hard time being disciplined and understanding that it's not just about us. It's about the other person. And if the other person say they're not ready, if you're not feeling that, the door is open. The door is wide open. It goes both ways. However, you have to be able to relate. If I can't relate to you, I'm not going to have a real relationship with you. And I'm not going to get to know you, because I'm just like, look, I want X, you want Y. We're not getting there, so I see you later. Go ahead, Anson.
No, Heather was first.
Okay, go ahead, Heather. I'm sorry.
Sure. I think there's also a lot of reasons why a male or a female may choose to be abstinent that maybe hasn't even been asked. I think just the word already feels like rejection to some people. And as a Black woman, and for other women that are on this call, you know that a lot of women have dealt with sexual abuse. They've dealt with trust issues. They've dealt with domestic abuse. These could be reasons why someone really wants to take their time before they get intimate and or they actually have sex with somebody. And for them, and for them, it could be, I want to get to know you first before I can trust you with my body and I can trust you with my mind and my emotions. And I think, for men and women, that's why it is important to get to know somebody, because, if a person, a male or female, gives it up earlier and you still don't get to know them, you don't even know what kind of crazy you could be dealing with, what kind of hurt, what kind of trauma this person has had in their background and in their lives. And some people are not healed from other situations. So,
and that's the key word. What's that H word you said?
Healed.
Yes, a lot of us, like, it goes back to what I was saying about the insta-bake world. A lot of us don't want to do introspective thinking, say, okay, I'm good. Like, for example, I'm gonna talk about your accident. And
no problem.
You just as an example, I'm just using that as an example. Anson some days probably felt like he could run when he can barely stand. His body was telling him he could barely stand, but in his mind, he's saying, I can run, I can run, I can run. And probably one day he tried it and fell flat on his face. And said, damn, I thought I could do it. He wasn't healed. So our mind tends to tell us something that our body knows or our psyche knows that is not true, and we convince ourselves to try something when we're not in our reality, we're not prepared to do. And that's why I said being able to relate, to find someone that relates to you is best, because they'll understand. And they ain't gotta like it, but they understand and they respect you enough to let you go through your things and become healed, because the healed person will be better for you than you trying to always put out little fires. Go ahead, Anson.
I had raised my hand for Lady T's question. Can you ask that question again, Lady T, please? How you get someone to be intimate, I believe it was? Or how do you get your partner to be intimate with you?
I think she was saying, how can you draw them in to want to be more intimate than just always just wanting to have sex? I think that was her question.
Right. And my answer to that is, you teach people how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what intimacy is, and you know what intimacy is to you. You teach them what intimacy is to you. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that there's nothing wrong with showing the type of intimacy that you desire, if you can. You know what I mean? So I would, that would be my answer to that. To how do you get someone to be intimate with you? Teach them, show them.
So let me ask you this. What if you as a person do not know how to be intimate with yourself or someone? Where would you start?
And it goes back to healing.
Right.
A lot of times, like I said, our minds are a wonderful thing, but sometimes it can be too good for us. We think that we can handle things, and a lot of times we can't, but we don't realize it until we're past the point of no return. A lot of times, and y'all don't have to admit it to me, but everybody's been in the situation they thought they could handle,
that they couldn't handle,
and it wound up handling them, because they convinced themselves that I convinced myself I can handle some things. And just saying, back in college, I would go with the intent, I'm not gonna mess with this girl. I'm not gonna mess with this girl like that. I ain't trying to get in her pants. And guess what happened? She started kissing on my neck. And guess what happened? She got
in her pants.
Got the whole feel good. So
I'm so weak.
And I felt bad after that, because that's not what I wanted to do. But I thought I could handle myself and control myself.
Yeah, and you wanted her for a friend only. You wanted strictly platonic, and she took it to the next level.
But like I said,
she took advantage of you.
I thought I could handle it, and obviously, my mind was convincing me, but my body was like, hell no. You better get this when you can, because you don't know when you're gonna get it again.
But Dr. Feelgood is just like what you said. It's human nature versus discipline at that point, right?
Exactly. But I thought I was disciplined. I'm more disciplined now because I'm old. I'm more disciplined now than I was when I was 20 and 30. Because hey, when I first pledged in my frat back in '88, that's 35 years ago. My brothers saying used to always be, and I always thought about this. They said, I turn down nothing but my collar, and I always wear t-shirts.
Okay, that was a little insight there. Okay.
Understood. That's way over your head, but I know exactly what you said, Doctor.
Well, translate, Papa Doc.
That's fresh.
All he He never says no. Just put it that way.
He
So
stay ready so he don't have to get ready.
yeah, he stay ready so he don't have to get ready. That's right.
Okay, okay.
Hey, to answer Lady T's question, if you don't know your intimacy, experience is the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? Life, like, we go through a lot of things in our life. And I can personally say I have experienced some things that I never thought I would. So you might not know what intimacy is for you until you experience it. So you have to bring it out of you.
No, you're right, Anson. And that's the thing, is like I said, a lot of us, we think we know ourselves, but we really don't until we get in the situation where we have to act. And it's all, like I said, it all depends on how healed you are. It all depends how healed you are, that you're able to have tough enough skin to say, yeah, this feels good, but I can't do this because it will change the dynamic of the relationship.
And your willingness to experience new things. Like,
exactly.
I've always said, I've been on here saying plenty of times how I love bomb pops. How you think I love bomb pops? I never did that shit before. I experimented with that and I tried something new. So I liked it. So I love me some bomb pops in that fashion now.
Listen, just for the ones who do not know, what are bomb pops?
Oh, I'm sorry for all those that I knew. Is everybody familiar with the popsicle bomb pops?
No. It's a red, white, and blue ice cream.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Well,
okay. I know what you're talking about.
They can be used in a very sexual manner.
Yes, you put them in the oven, and let it warm up in the oven. then you drink the juice.
Warm them up in the oven. That don't even sound sanitary.
Wait a minute. That went over your head too.
Don't you think?
No, that didn't go over my head. My pH balance off listening to that. Nah.
Exactly. I was getting ready to say, what kind of oven you putting it in? It must have rigor mortis. I ain't gonna say it. Jesus.
Hey, look,
it could be a little sticky.
Like, if you like the flavor of bomb pops, they can be very beneficial in the bedroom.
And then y'all don't have to deal with the cleanup later.
But that's
yes, I do.
I
clean all of it.
You're right, because men do a good job of cleaning that up.
That's right. That's right.
And the oven enjoys being clean the way we clean it.
Whatever, Dr.
Oh no, okay, I get it now. In the top part of the oven.
Can you Google a bomb? Can you Google a bomb pops? Cause I thought it was like a marijuana at first.
No, hold on. I'm gonna put it. Give me a nasty.
Okay, Nasty J, bring it all the way back.
No, I know what a bomb pops was. I thought like a marijuana. Like, I'm sorry, I thought.
That's because you're from Jamaica. Nasty J.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that was a little hint for giving intimacy and all that good stuff with the sticky bomb pop and all that. But guess what? I haven't heard from Latrice tonight. Latrice, I need to know your take with intimacy. Are you with me, Latrice? Latrice fell off. Latrice, I ain't playing with y'all tonight. What about you, Miss Leanne? Oh, now Leanne fell asleep.
No, no, I was trying to call Latrice. My point with what?
With
I was
intimacy.
Millie. So, okay, so intimacy, I am going to agree with Heather that it does lead up to intercourse, but you could just have intimacy just for the sake of now.
Nasty J, that's what a bomb pop is. See it to the left.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's a bomb pop. Don't have nothing to do with your bags. Okay. All right, Heather, we sorry about that. But you know what? I'm not Heather, Leanne.
Yes, I was saying like with what Heather was saying, you know, intimacy can lead up to intercourse, and that human nature. I mean, like Dr. Feelgood say, hell, the woman wanted it. She couldn't just be intimate either. She was just as bad as you. She wanted to. So
So
it's
she took
okay.
it on to the next level.
And it's okay. He didn't turn it down. I mean, she wanted that. And it's okay for women to want that. It's okay.
Thank you.
All
It's
right
okay.
then.
Because sometimes you women just act like you.
So, Papa Doc, I'm assuming you're saying sometimes you just want the woman to take charge and take lead and make that first
Yeah.
move.
Oh, yeah, because like you automatically know 9 out of 10 times the man definitely wants it. Okay. The only reason why he moving slow because he ain't sure if you want it. You know, instead of him being some animal and just, you know, all over you like, damn, this dude like an animal. I'd
Okay, but
rather you
Papa
just
Doc,
I
Papa
just
Doc.
rather you just I just rather you just say, okay, I want it too. Let's go.
Okay, but Papa Doc, I
Yes, ma'am.
gotta speak, and I'm not gonna speak on a man's behalf.
Yeah.
But sometimes that man really does not want it. He want to get to know that woman because that woman might be
What?
the roles may be reversed. No,
It's a very small percent.
no. Because that woman might hurt his feelings. She may just be looking for sex, not a relationship. But then he's looking for more, and then he can get his feelings hurt. And she was like,
Okay.
I need to wait a minute. Instead of her saying, and it's on Instagram, and I think I sent it to some of my friends. She not trying to get to know you sexually. She trying to get to know you before you get into her mind. She could just have sex, and if it's good 1, 2, 3 times, that's fine. We working with that, but she want to know where your mind is. She want to know your heart later.
Okay.
Oh,
That sounds good. But I'm gonna tell you, most men don't think like that. Like if they
I know, but a lot of men that want a serious relationship, because they do. They do.
We can get to that later. But I'm saying, you know, I'm gonna want the serious relationship.
Let me tell you something. If a woman have sex with a man and that ain't good, you can hang it up. You can just hang it up.
That's why you gotta do a lot of test driving.
And who's gonna get their feelings hurt? Because she's not getting her feelings hurt. You're gonna have yours because you are into her.
Yeah.
Gonna be like a little puppy dog.
Just saying.
I mean, look, I've been dropped like a hot rock before after the sex, you know. I'm like, well, damn, okay, all right, that's all she wanted, you know. I don't feel like, oh man, she just used me. It is what it is. But I know it's some fellas out here that's a little bit more sensitive than I am. So, you know, yeah, I ain't that sensitive.
You got to check Ralph Tresvant for sensitivity.
Huh?
You got to check Ralph Tresvant for sensitivity.
You know what? Latrice, you got your hand up, and then we're going to come to Anson. Latrice?
I was just wanted to respond to Papa Doc because he said he want a woman to like go for it, attack him. You have some women that want it, that's a little more reserved, but sometimes, you know, they're not just gonna, they could be sitting there, they could be hot, wet, ready, but they're not gonna attack a man because they waiting on that man to make that move. You have a lot of women like that.
Sometimes, Tracy.
Yeah, but all women are real
fed.
reserved and laid back like that. They're not just gonna say, give it to me, or they're just not gonna attack that man.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Unless
I don't think Papa Doc
they
is
have
meaning like that. I'm
intimacy
thinking
is
that
already
Papa Doc
there.
saying, okay, say we just going out, we happen to be in the hotel and fall asleep, sleeping in the same bed, being intimate, but not having sex. He wants you to turn over and grab it.
Right, but see, that happens once you have connected mentally, emotionally, that intimacy has connected. Okay, now that's not a problem. But if you haven't connected on that level, most women just not gonna go at a man like that unless they connected on that level. Now, if I connected with a man, I'm gonna get it. I'm getting it.
Latrice, you say you gonna get it.
I'm gonna
let me
get
let
it.
me
Girl.
let me ask you this. So some is it ever a case where like sometimes the woman has connected with the man, but the man doesn't actually see the connection, so he moving a little slow
And she gonna speed it up because
and
that's
she
what
gonna
she
speed it up.
want.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
yes, she
Okay,
will.
that's what I'm asking.
Yes, she
Okay,
will.
all right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, don't sit there and hold
And
back.
see, Papa Dogs, you should have just went
Yeah,
on and completed that. You not feeling her, but she's feeling you. But you gonna go on and get it because she want it, and
yeah.
then
I'm
you
about to
gonna
say that
ghost
don't
her.
mean she can't get it.
You gonna
Yeah, that
ghost
don't
her.
mean she
Uh-huh,
can't get it.
uh-huh.
What you say? I'm a ghost.
I already know. And I ain't going there with you, Papa Dog. Go ahead, Anson. You got your hand up.
Oh man.
You heard me, Anson? Or is it up from the last time?
Hello, hello. Y'all hear me?
We can hear you now.
We hear
All right.
you.
I basically from hearing everybody speak, I just think the main problem is people overthink sex too much. It's just like if you like someone or if you don't. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
you know what I'm saying? If you like somebody enough, you want to have sex with them. But I think that a lot of times, I know we always doing the men versus women talk in here. I think a lot of times women overthink it. You know what I mean? So a lot of women overthink sex and feel like I understand you giving your body up to a man. That's a big thing. I understand that. But again, it comes down to your choice. You choose if you're gonna have sex with someone. So don't
True.
get mad at yourself or get mad at him for your choice. You know what I mean? So if you choose
But
to have,
nobody has to get mad.
well, yeah, but see, that's the whole cusp of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? From what I'm hearing is, you know, I'm giving sex is not just sex, is something more like what is it? It's two bodies colliding. You know what I mean? Like if you go down to the bare minimal of what's happening, it's two people intertwining, it's two people connecting. You know what I mean? So that's what the definition of sex is. You put more on it, that's what make it extra. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if I have sex with this man or I have sex with this man, this means this means that. No, the fact is that you choose to have sex with someone, just like you choose to kiss somebody, just like you choose to be with somebody. It all boils down to choice. So if that was your choice, it's your choice.
But it's also interpretation because what you just said, Anson, may not be my view on it either. Like it for me, sex is more intimate than just the act of two bodies colliding. That's how I want it to be because that's how I see my partner. I'm not going against how you feel about it or how you expressed yourself, but not everybody sees it that way. Especially from the time that you first had sex at a younger age and as you've gotten older, sex means something different. And if I'm wrong, ladies, please correct me or share your viewpoint. But sex after a while is not just the act. It's who you're with, it's the timing of it, because it means something different over time.
I
Mm-hmm.
agree, but that's why I said it's your choice. It's your choice of who you choose to have sex with. So if it means more to you, then that plays into your choice of having sex. It's to me, it's just that simple. You know what I mean? It might
Well, I
not.
don't want to feel judged with what I feel my interpretation or definition of what sex is because you see it as, to be honest with you, the way you said it, it sounded more carnal than it did more of an act that two people are sharing with each other. Because you don't just have sex with any and everybody unless it's a violent act or something like that. And that's definitely not how I look at sex or intimacy with sex.
Well, for me personally, I am a straight to the point type person. Uh, if you look at the news and you see that someone murdered somebody, they murdered somebody. It ain't no. I don't care why they did it. I don't care what the circumstance it was. If they intentionally murdered someone, they murdered them. You know what I mean? They took somebody's life. But you have a lot of people that like to sit there, well, why did they do that? They did this because of that. They did this because of that and try to justify why they did it. No, the fact is they did it. If you have sex, you have sex. That's all I'm saying.
Women are more emotional than that. Whether you think it's overthinking or if it's more to it, women don't always just have sex just to have sex, right? Sometimes it's a more of an emotional connection with somebody to want to share their body with them and to share their emotions with them. And that could also stem from what Dr. Feelgood said about traumas and healing. People don't always just give their bodies just for that carnal aspect of just having sex to have sex. And if you do, there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm just saying, that definition does not apply to everybody.
But just I understand what you're saying because that applies to me as well. Sex is enjoyable to me. I don't want to have sex with someone I'm not going to enjoy it with. So if I see if I see someone that I'm in public and I'm out somewhere and I see and I know that I just won't have fun with her. You know, I just won't enjoy.
You know you won't have fun with her.
Oh, please. There's plenty of women that I've turned down in my life.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of women think men will just have sex with anyone. I'm here to tell you, hell no, I won't. It's been plenty of women I've seen and met that I would say, but she will never get these draws. She will never get to feel me. You know what I mean? I'm not primal like that. You know what I mean? So just like I can choose not to pursue a woman, you know what I'm saying? A woman can choose not to give themselves up to a man. It's understandable.
Okay. We got it. So check this out. I never did get a chance to ask Travis Bridges his take on intimacy. Travis, are you with us?
I certainly am. How's everybody doing?
We're doing
Hey, Travis.
Yeah, what's up, Anson? What's up, Dr. Feelgood? I ain't seen y'all in a minute.
It's been a while.
In the house.
So I hear somebody else talking, but okay. But so tell me, Travis, what is your take on intimacy opposed to just having I won't say just having sexual intercourse with someone, because it stems from you're with this female or you're with this woman, whomever it is that you're with, and you get ready, you're geared up, and she said, no, I'm abstinent or I'm celibate. What is your take and how do you deal with that?
This conversation is, somebody's got their mic open. It's like aggravating. Can we find out who that is?
Oh, there you go. All right. Sorry about that.
It has a lot of moving parts. It's heavy, it's deep, it's very complex for me. And I'm going to do my best, to not be long-winded. But even having the conversation about sex, I remember the military had the government / military had the don't ask, don't tell, policy. And, I guess if you're in a private group like this, that's not so private, I guess you can talk if you choose to talk. But it's too personal of a conversation for me to say whether I am or not, or have not, or will or won't. But, to talk about sex as a mature adult, it's just difficult to have that conversation publicly, because I now see why, if sex is bad, why it might be bad, because of the energy and attitude that comes with just the act. I think having sex outside of intimacy is something that you just cannot, well, I'm not going to say you, because I'll speak for me as an adult. It's just not something that I can even fathom. There is no sex without intimacy. That's right. Bestiality. That's psychotic. That's devilish. That's demonic. Just talking about sex. So for me to have that conversation is like, I am gonna say, it just feels nasty, to even use the word. Yeah, nasty. To use the word, and then try to have a conversation about it. And as it relates, I remember somebody made a comment about drawing somebody in. there's something about intimacy between two people who are on the same frequency. You can't stop that no matter who you are or what you do. And two mature adults, consenting adults, so to speak, that is just something that I guess happens naturally in nature. I mean, if I start getting into the spiritual aspect, it's a whole nother conversation. But if I'm, being real, attraction and intimacy is something that is natural and normal, and it just doesn't happen, with anybody. I mean, you could see someone that you find attractive, somebody may find you, attractive, but until those frequencies line up, it usually doesn't happen. And if two people are participating in that act that we're calling sex, and there has been no intimacy or that's not, I don't know what to call it, for lack of a better word, I'll just say sex. I don't want to participate in sex. I may have in my life at some point in time, but when you know better, you do better. And I don't only know better, I just am better. And it's even hard to have a conversation about sex because I don't think I want no sex.
You went off on a tangent. I was asking you about intimacy. I wanted to know your core element.
Well,
about
you should have stopped me.
But your tangent went on, so I just allowed you to have your moment. I understand.
Well, thank you.
Sometimes you got to rant just a little bit to get your point across. I got you.
Well, then thank you.
And the key point.
So did I answer your question?
You told me exactly. You're not just talking about getting a little sex. You want to have a little intimacy. So I got you. Cause sex just sounds
okay. May I?
Travis.
It does. Okay, I heard somebody talk about the lady in the beginning. She said, I wish I had waited. I wish I had waited. I was listening to her, and I'm glad my camera's not on because y'all probably would have fired me tonight because it was hard to hear. It's been hard to hear quite a few things, and I'm not being judgmental, I swear, because we all have our opinion.
She's gone, but she'll look at it on YouTube.
Okay, good. Well, she says about wish she had waited. I've been I've been a fitness person all my life, a roller coaster. I'm in shape, 6 months, and out of shape, 8 months. But when I heard that, I was thinking of a person who just finished Thanksgiving dinner talking about they're gonna go on a diet. You can't have.
You wrong for that one now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I thought about to say I wish I had waited. Yeah, it's just an analogy. And it really is what it is. I'm just going to leave it right here.
You can wish about certain things. You can go back and say, I regret doing what I did, had I just did things differently. I think that was what she was saying.
Right. As soon as you finish the meal on Thanksgiving, you say, I should have did some push-ups or should have ran. Or should have water or salad. Well, when I hear that, no disrespect for her, but it's like, it's just noise.
Noise.
Yeah,
it's like wah.
Exactly. Yeah, it just kind of. We're adults. Even when we're young adults, even when we're teenagers, we can say, "Well, I was young." Well, you were still breathing, and your brain was working. Nobody diagnosed you with any kind of psychological issues. So you know what you're doing. We always know what we're doing. We give into the flesh, and that's what sex is about. But when you know better, you do better. And if you have the opportunity to be taught or spiritually arrested, for lack of a better word, somehow or another, you don't take those paths of where you're just being a dog or a cat in the street, just getting it, and if you are, hopefully, the lady, maybe she said if she wished she had waited, maybe she has had that time where she says, okay, now I can see just how doggish or cattish I've been, and now I wished I had. You can't
now
say
what
after you just finished eating on diet. Yeah, I know. No disrespect to anybody.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your intimacy and the dogs and the cats and the meows and the roof roof. So, is there anyone else that would like to share with Upscale Love for you on your point of view about intimacy, because intimacy means so much. And I always tell people this when it comes to intimacy, I feel like kissing is the form of intimacy that would just reel a person in. Like Dr. Feelgood said, that young lady kissed on his neck, then round to his ears, then to that lip, and then he just lost control. And then guess what? Guess what, Travis? They just had some good old nasty sex. I'm just
Well,
playing.
I do have.
I'm
Can I
just playing
close?
with
Can I
you.
say one more?
You
It's okay.
can.
Okay. I see intimacy no different than food, water, and just the need to just be. You cannot be a human and not have that desire at some point in time. Nature just happens. Again, when you separate intimacy from sex, we're talking two totally different conversation. I'm not going to have a conversation about sex as an adult, and not in public anyway. If you want to go, off record, then we can talk about sex. It's just not something I want to do. But it's natural, it's normal, and two people, when they're together, I don't care what they say. When you're hungry, you're going to eat. When you're thirsty, you're going to drink. And when you have that place of where those frequencies come together, there's not much you can do about that if you're on the same link, whether you're a woman or a man. You can say you're going to hold out, and some people do. But man, that's just like dropping a bowling ball on your big toe and then just smiling about it. It's just not something you can just easily do. So on that note, and in closing, it's necessary, it's natural, it's normal. You can be spiritual about it. You can be whatever you want to be about it. But when that time comes between two people who are operating on the same frequency, hell or high water ain't going to be able to stop it, period.
Well, thank you, Travis. Now, see, I like that analogy that you gave about if you're hungry, you got to eat. If you're thirsty, you got to drink. So I can take that one a little better than I can about the kitty cat and the dogs and the meows and all that good stuff. But with that being said, I'm getting ready to say I have enjoyed this conversation this evening. It's past 10, y'all. We've been trying to cut it down to 10 p.m., but it got a little thick and a little there. So I'm going to say, Lady T, do you have something you would like to share? We're going to come on around, Lady T, then Nancy J, then Dr. Feelgood. And guess what? I'll come in last and bring it on home. So, Lady T, go ahead.
No, I just want to thank everyone for chiming in tonight, and I really enjoyed the conversation as well. And I look forward to seeing you next Thursday with a hot, sizzling topic.
All righty then. Nancy J, can you hear me? Nancy J always had this old backlash. I'm going to just put him last. Dr. Feelgood, can you hear Dr. Fabulous?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for attending, having a deep conversation. Everybody was respectful. Everybody understood the assignment, and we want you back. Let's grow. Hey, tell your friends, telephone, tell everybody, yell it from the highest mountain, from the deepest sea. And we want you involved. We also simulcast on YouTube. So the live show after this, and then we go on and play the replay, which I'll get from Dr. Fabulous. Everybody, if you want to add a topic, Lady T, put it in the box. If you want to add a topic to discuss, because this topic came up actually Tuesday, I think it was a good one. You can hit us up at Upscale Love for you. That's Upscale Love, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. You can go to our page in either Yahoo or YouTube or Facebook. Also, you can hit us up individually. We all have our addresses within the group, within the page. Like, share, subscribe. Back to you, Dr. Fab.
All right. Nancy J, can you hear me this time?
I could hear it, guys. Now my mic was on mute. So,
Okay, so Nancy J, let's tell our listening audience something.
well, thanks everyone for participating tonight. Topic was very interesting. Hearing different perspective and point of views and how we all view intimacy and our take on intimacy. I learned a lot as well. My opinion and learn from the guests. Just thank everyone for coming out and continue supporting the show. And let's keep the channel growing. Yes, that's
All
it.
right. Well, thank you, everyone. Like I said, don't let this be your first, don't let this be your last. Always come back to Tantalizing Talk for Upscale Love for You, because we always have something juicy, something sizzling, and something oh so sweet for understanding. And with that being said, I'm going to say good night. And guess what, y'all? Smooches. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.